welcome to the egg freezing vlog. If we haven't met yet, my name's Christy and I had my eggs frozen earlier this year. I actually went through 2 rounds of egg freezing and it's probably been 2 or 3 months since I completed my 2nd round. A lot of people don't know what it means to get your eggs frozen and what that process and experience really looks like. And I had a lot of those same questions where I didn't know what I was really walking into, so I talked to a whole bunch of people that I knew that had gotten their eggs frozen, and that was really helpful for me. So hopefully this will be helpful to someone else who's like maybe thinking about it or starting their journey and just having one more point of view and experience to go off of before they start their journey. I'm going to kick off the video with some of the frequently asked questions that I got on Instagram and answer those, and then jump into like more of the vlog. And then at the end of the video, I'll go over some like tips and tricks that I felt worked well for me, as well as like how I feel now that I finished my 2nd round. I feel this is gonna be a lot of talking today. One of the questions that I got asked most on Instagram was, how old are you and why did you decide to do this? At the time of going through the process, I was 27. I've had a birthday since, and I've known for a couple of years that I wanted to do it. I have always said that I don't want kids, and people like to tell me that I'm going to change my mind, and you know, maybe one day I will change my mind. And I've seen friends who've always said that they've never wanted kids decide to have kids later on. And I'm very much about making decisions that maximize the number of options I have in the future. And in this case, I know that I don't want to have kids anytime in the near future. And should I change my mind one day, even though I am open to like adoption and fostering at this point in time, just having this done and knowing that I kind of have that safety net in the egg bank, it makes me feel a little bit better about like wherever my life takes me and however I might feel in 5-10 years. My company offers really amazing benefits for fertility treatment, and I never really thought about it until I started to hear some of my coworkers later on be like, oh, you know, I had my eggs frozen, or like they would just mention it in passing. And me being me, I'd be like, oh, if you're comfortable talking about it, like I actually do have some questions like, what do I experience? Can you tell me more? And so my company offering benefits and having a lot of it covered was definitely a driving force for me to do it now. Nobody that I talked to had said anything other than, I wish I had done it when I was your age. This was like probably I was even younger than I am now. But most of my coworkers had probably been in like their early, mid, maybe a few in their late 30s when they had gone through this. And either for reasons of like they would have gotten more eggs had they done it younger, or they just wanted that peace of mind earlier. All of them were like, you should definitely do this. And I think that was just like nice reassurance and encouragement for me going into this as well. I think it's really just nice to have that peace of mind. If kids are something that you know that you'll want eventually and you can financially afford it, I think it's a really great option to do this. The next question that I got a lot was, how much does it cost? I'm going to look at my notes a little bit more for this one just because I don't want to mess this up. Net, the answer to this really depends on your insurance policy. For me, fertility benefits are a carve out of my insurance policy, which means that everything that I pay for as far as egg freezing went towards my max out of pocket and my deductible. That was also one of the reasons why I waited until 2022 to do my egg freezing, even though I wanted to do it earlier, was because I wanted to switch over to the plan that my company offered that had a lower deductible and lower max out of pocket, which would save me like, I think $1,500 to $2,000 overall. Without insurance, my clinic charges $8,700 for the freezing itself, and medication costs another $4,000 to $5,000. However, when I talked to my insurance company before, they said that the average cost for like 1 round is $18,000. So my clinic gave me a lower number than the insurance company. And then the cost of having your eggs frozen is $800 per year for the storage fee. Next question. What were your side effects? Before I started, my doctor warned me that the most frequently experienced side effects are fatigue and bloating. I think some people also experience mood swings as well. I didn't really experience any of that for the 2 weeks I was on the injectable medications leading up to the retrieval. I might have had a little bit of bloating towards the end, but it wasn't anything like super bad or noticeable. I did experience some side effects post-procedure, but I'll talk a little bit more at the end of the video. Okay, that is enough of me talking and answering questions. Hopefully this gives like a good baseline foundation FAQ going into this, and we're gonna cut to the vlog. Today is Wednesday, and on Monday I just had my first teleconference with my doctor at a fertility clinic, where she kind of asked me some basic questions around why I'm choosing to get my eggs frozen, what I plan on using them for, marital relationship status, and things like that. The next step is that today I am going to go in about 30 minutes, and they're going to do the first ultrasound and see like basically how everything looks down there. One of the things I learned on Monday is that getting my eggs frozen doesn't affect future fertility at all. I was like, oh, like maybe when you get your eggs frozen, you get some eggs taken out and like you get menopause earlier, whatever. And so what actually happens is I'm gonna pull up my notes so I don't completely mess this up and provide incorrect information. So every month when you get your period, you actually have a number of eggs that get released all at once. Most of them die off, and then like one is like the one that you get your period. And what they try to do during the egg freezing process is like they try to rescue as many eggs as possible in that monthly cohort that usually dies off. Today they're going to see like how many I have in like a cohort. Most people do like 1 to 2 cycles. It really depends on like how many they can get from one cycle. So hopefully I am just a 1 cycle gal. She said that we'll plan on starting at the end of this month with the period that I'm supposed to get at the end of the month, and we'll go from there. It seems like it's all moving really fast though, which is good. I'm really excited because it's just like one of those things that's been on my to-do list, and I'm finally getting to check it off. But at the same time, I'm also kind of nervous about giving myself injections. I think that's the scariest part. I was hoping to do it while my sister was still living with me, so that I could make her give me the injections. But I was talking to some friends who've done it, and they've all said that even though they had, like some of them had partners to give them injections, it was actually easier for them to do it for themselves. I just got back from my ultrasound appointment, and the ultrasound itself took like 10 minutes. It was super fast, and then we did vitals, and they drew some blood. Well, they drew a lot of blood, and I like couldn't look at it. But the facility was super nice. It kind of felt like a spa. We did a transvaginal ultrasound, which is kind of like a pap smear experience-wise. And so the goal of the ultrasound is to get a follicle count. And so they count like how many are on the left and how many on the right, but it doesn't really tell you anything. Well, it gives you like a baseline. But what really matters is once I get my period, I'll go in for a baseline ultrasound, and they'll do another count. And from that count, usually 50 to 100% of those can be harvested. So I'll know more in a few weeks once I get my period and go in. And tomorrow is like a webinar seminar for like how to do your injections and stuff. There's also an option where you can have a nurse come to your house and do the injections, but it's like $40 a visit, so like I'm definitely not paying that. But I think it's cool that's an option. And then after the injection seminar, shit's getting real. After the injection seminar, before you actually start the injections, you have like a 30-minute call with your nurse, and they kind of like take you through everything again. It is nice like to feel like I have my hand held, especially since I'm doing this alone, I just got a big old box of drugs. Well, but this looks really intense. It's quite a big box, and I thought it was like half empty, but it was like literally filled to the brim. Today is Thursday, and I scheduled my baseline ultrasound for next Friday, and I started my period today. And so because I'm waiting a week to do my baseline ultrasound, I am going to be put on birth control until I can get in there. You have everything, like a lot of alcohol wipes, all the syringes, injection needles, the pharmacy trying to cross-sell you. Just got the results for my genetic carrier screening, and it basically looks at what diseases you might be a carrier for. When they asked me if I wanted to do this, I was like, I don't know. I think it's usually $200, so I was like, oh, okay, like it's free now, so I might as well do it. I'm very big on doing things that are free, by the way. So I went to the fertility center this morning and I did my lab work, and tonight I start injections, and I'm a little bit anxious, and like I did the training, but I was like, shoot, like what angle do you stab yourself with? So I was watching this YouTube video of this woman who's like injecting herself. It's basically a vlog, but then like I don't know how helpful it is, because as I'm watching, I'm like, oh, like it doesn't seem that bad, and then she goes, wow, that's a lot of fluid. Or she like started talking about all this hormonal acne that she got, which I didn't realize was a thing. Like I heard about fatigue, and I've heard about like being more emotional. This acne looks really bad. My friend gets home from work at 9 and it's 8:51 right now. So I'm gonna prep everything and try to do this myself. Worst case, I'm gonna FaceTime her and we're gonna do this together. So today I have 2 injections. I have 200 units of Gonal F and 150 of Menopur. Okay, I'm gonna do the Gonal F first and then figure out the Menopur, because the Gonal F is supposed to be pretty straightforward and it's supposed to be kept cold, and the Menopur requires mixing, and I don't know how to do that right now. This is what it looks like. There's needles or needle caps and then the pen.
This pen is already pre-filled. You'll need to remove the cap, then remove the large needle cap and hold on to this.
Then you will dial the pen to your dose. 200. My heart's like racing. Take a 3 cc milliliter syringe, of which I have many. Oh shit. 1 vial of liquid and 2 vials of powder each time. Wait, I'm so confused. What's the difference between that and that? Okay, I'm gonna go with the box actually first. Meh. I feel unnecessarily confused right now. Why are these things packaged in different things than the other ones? What makes them special? Are they special? I'm actually getting like less and less nervous about the actual injection part, because I'm worried about like screwing up the administration, honestly. Like, this is not straightforward. We'll first puncture into a liquid vial. This is a liquid vial, right? Okay. Turn it upside down and drop the whole 1 milliliter of fluid. Okay, 1 milliliter. How do I make a stop? Do I just take it off? Oh, okay. That's how. Do not shake and roll the vial to dissolve. And we're gonna let that sit while I stab myself with the Gonal F. My dosage is 200, right? 200. I'm so paranoid. Remove the large needle cap and hold on to it. Remove the inner needle cap. That doesn't look that bad, right? It's like thin. I bet it's gonna hurt less than like getting a wax. Pinch fat really hard. Alcohol swab the entire area. Needle goes straight into the stomach like a dart. Press down the plunger and press down all the way. Wait a few seconds, take out and unpinch. I can't tell if like sitting or standing is better for this. Okay, 1, 2, go. Wait a few seconds. 1 Mississippi, 2 Miss, 3 Mississippi. Did I use all of it? Is it at 0? We're at 0. That wasn't that bad. I didn't even feel it. Now that I've done that one, I don't feel super apprehensive about the other one because I barely felt it. I feel like I have a sense of confidence now. Don't let me get too cocky. 2, 3, go. That one definitely hurt more. Okay, blood. I need a napkin. But I did it. Whee! It is day 2 of injections, and honestly, I kind of feel like I'm gonna be a pro today. I had a really big dinner tonight, or a really soupy dinner tonight, so I feel like that's gonna be beneficial for grabbing belly fat. Sunday morning, it's 7:58 a.m. and we're gonna go get lab work done. We are on day 4, Friday, Saturday, day 4 of injections, and honestly at this point I kind of feel like a pro. Yesterday I didn't even open the instructions, but yesterday I was also so tired. Yesterday morning I went in and I did a lab test, so they just took my blood and measured my estrogen. Tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. I'm going in again, and tomorrow is going to be blood work and an ultrasound. That's what I've decided, is that I like to prep the Menopur first before I do anything else, and then that way I can just inject the Gonal F and the Menopur back to back, so I don't have to inject one and then prep it and then inject the other. I have decided that this injection is best done when you're sitting down, because you have your belly bulge when you sit down. It's easier to grab a bulge to shoot into. And we're done for today. I feel so winded. I'm heading to my appointment today and I'm like, is it the medication? Do I have fatigue? Or am I just out of shape? My appointment is tomorrow, not today. It's 8 a.m. At least I got a free sparkling water out of it. I had my doctor's appointment this morning and we did ultrasound and blood work. They did a check on my follicles and it looks like there's 12 follicles growing out of a total of 18, and they say it's too early to know whether or not there's going to be more than 8 or more than 12 or not. But right now there's 12. Hopefully some of the other 6 wake up and start to get active. But I decided today that my goal is to get 18. I've been a little on the fence about whether or not I need to do 2 rounds. And I was looking at this calculator that my fertility clinic has online, and they have probabilities based on different studies as far as your likelihood of being able to conceive 1 child. And with just 12, I think I'm at 50% based on the most conservative study. The most conservative study has probability of 1 child at 56 to 64% and 2 or more children at 19 to 20. Once I get to 18, which is the total number that I have right now, my probability of 1 child increases to 71 to 79% and 2 or more to 34 to 44%. I feel like I needed to set a goal number in mind because when I went into this process, I didn't know what any of this meant. And now that I know a little bit more, I just need a North Star to get to so I can figure out my decision tree. 18 feels good. Basically, if I get all of the eggs in this round, I won't go again. If I don't get them all, I'll do a second round. I'm walking to my appointment this morning, and I think that this is the first day I'm starting to feel side effects. But I can't tell if it's side effects or if I just ate too much chocolate last night. But I feel like my ovaries feel big. It's such a weird thing to say, but they just feel swollen. I might go to my ceramic studio later, but that's about it.
Ceramics, that's so cool.
Yeah, that for me. I just got told that I am starting my morning injections now, so time to go home and give myself a shot. My egg count today was 10 or 11. So round 2, here we come. Will say, I didn't think choosing a doctor was going to be super important for this because I'm not actively trying to have a kid, and so I think the touch and care aspect of it is less sensitive to me, but I definitely like my doctor more. Just me casually carrying a syringe box with me. Wow, I'm really bruised now. Got a lot of bruising now. This is not sketchy at all. Me doing injections in the back of my car. It's slightly less sketchy than doing it in the bathroom of a coffee shop, I think. Maybe. My doctor said that my trigger shot could be today or it could be tomorrow. It depends on the blood work that they get back. So I'll know pretty soon, I think, when I'm triggering. Ooh, popped one. My pharmacy just texted me saying that they're not able to do the delivery tonight, and then I told them that I needed the medication for tonight because I'm supposed to do 100 units of Gonal F, and I don't think that's 100 units. And when they did text back, they said that they could deliver after 10 p.m., which I think is going to be fine for my injection actually, but okay, I will say that one of the things, and it's not anyone's fault, but one of the things that is kind of frustrating about this whole process is just the lack of predictability. It's not an exact science, and so I kind of feel bad because one of my friends is going to pick me up from my appointment, and originally I told her it'd be sometime this week, and when I got closer to this week, I let her know that's probably going to be Wednesday through Friday. And as we progressed through the week, I was like, oh yeah, it's probably going to be not Wednesday, maybe Thursday or Friday. And then it was not Thursday, and it's maybe Friday. And then today I texted her saying, it's not Friday, it might be Saturday. And I think if you have a partner or a really strong network, which I don't have here, it's fine because you can probably go to other people. It just makes it a little frustrating, and I feel so bad. I feel so bad that I can't give my friend a more concrete date for them to be able to plan their lives around. Okay, it's trigger shot time, and it's actually just one shot. And I'm 2 minutes late. Ah! Okay, apply pressure to the top of the no crimp. Oh, there you go. Wipe with alcohol. I just feel like I did something wrong. I don't know why. We're doing this.
She's actually ready to go. I just need her dental stuff.
I did go to Trader Joe's yesterday and buy myself coconut water, which has electrolytes for day. Carrots. And, oops, of course, bagged salad. I'm not in a lot of pain. Like, it's maybe a 1 or 2 at this point. When I left, it was, when I first got out, it was a 3. But she did say it was going to get worse before it gets better, so I'm taking a narco just in case. Now that I'm done with my second round, how do I feel about it now? I'm so happy I did this. And I think part of it was also that like I've been waiting for years to do it. For me, the process wasn't that hard. The first round was a little bit frustrating just because my ovaries were so slow to respond that I didn't know what day I was going to finally be able to do the retrieval. And the window they gave me was, I think, like Monday to Wednesday, and then they were like, no, Tuesday through Thursday, and then Wednesday to Friday, and then Thursday or Friday, and then eventually it was Saturday. It was like partly for my sake, like going to the doctors every day for like those last 4 days, and it never being the day, but also communicating to my friend who was going to pick me up, like, oh, sorry, or like, it's not today, it might be Wednesday, it might be Thursday, it might be Friday, and just not being able to give her a clear-cut answer, I felt really bad and wishy-washy. Honestly, I think it's pretty badass to just like go through this yourself and be like, I'm in control of my own body. This is what I'm doing for me so that I have the independence and the freedom to make decisions and live my life the way that I want it to be, and have this like, I feel like security blanket isn't even the right word, but just make this investment for myself, if that makes sense. Because at the end of the day, there was like short-term annoyances, but the payoff for the next 10 years of my life is going to be huge. And if you're watching this because you're about to go through this on your own, like, you're amazing and I'm so proud of you. I'm proud that you took the steps to go do this, to learn about this process, and that you're gonna go for it. That's huge. All right, now if you are about to go through this, here are my tips and tricks. I have them all written down, I'm gonna tell you. The injections feel like a lot when you first start, but once you hit day 3, I feel like you just become a pro. For me, it wasn't even the injecting part that was hard, it was the mixing the medications. I was like, I swear I'm going to do this wrong. Something's going to happen and I'm going to mix this wrong. But after like a few days, you get the hang of it, you get a hang of the injections. It did get a little bit tiring at the end of my first round, just like knowing that I was going to do a second round. I was like, like this isn't even the end of it. I had to do like this whole thing again. But the second round, it went a lot smoother. My doctor knew that my body would need some time to respond. And so we like were able to adjust the dosage. So I think I was actually on medications for fewer days than I was the first round, or like it just felt like fewer days to me. For me, as far as injections go, it was easiest to inject when I didn't look, especially for the Menopur and the Cetrotide, just because there's like so much liquid and you're like watch the thing go in. Like just stab yourself and then just like push, like look at something else and push. And I always forgot to have a napkin handy, but it is handy to just like have a napkin and apply pressure afterwards. And switch up the spots that you're injecting as well, like they'll tell you to do that. But for me, it was always easiest to inject sitting down because like you do have like your belly fat and like you can inject directly into the fat if you do that. Okay, as far as post-operation side effects, the 2 rounds I did were kind of a different experience. Like as far as medications and everything goes, my doctor told me that like whatever you experience with 1 round, you tend to experience the same thing. So I was like, okay, I can do this. It'll be kind of chill. My first round post-operation, I just had some light cramping that first day and I used a heating pad that my friend brought me. And then after that, like I continued to use the heating pad for another like 3 or 4 days, but I don't even think I needed it. All I felt was a little bit irregular, like I maybe couldn't poop. My second round though was kind of a different story. So they give you 2 trigger medications that trigger the egg retrieval and prep your body for that. And my first round, I only used one of them. And then my second round, I needed to use both of them. And I was warned that the second medication that I hadn't used the first round is the one that tends to cause like more symptoms and more bloating post-operation. Like my first round, I would say I experienced like some discomfort and cramping, but not really any pain. And honestly, by the time I went home, it was gone. And I didn't even need the narco that I took. My second round, I woke up and I was in pain. And they kept trying to give me fentanyl because I took a Tylenol and it didn't do anything. And I didn't bring the pain medication that they had prescribed me just because like the first round I didn't need it. I had just read Dope Sick and I had watched Euphoria. That stuff scares you away from fentanyl. And I was like, hell no, I'm not taking fentanyl. Nope, 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 nope. So first I took that Tylenol and then I was like, I'm still in pain. And after maybe like 15-20 minutes, I gave in and I took the fentanyl. However, after that, like initial, however long the fentanyl lasted, I went home and after that I didn't have any more pain. Like I didn't need the narco that they had prescribed me and I didn't need the Tylenol. There was really bad bloating that I hadn't experienced for the first round. Like my stomach was like out like this. How many months pregnant do I look today?
26.
26?
36.
I would say like 5 months.
42.
And I think it probably peaked around day 3 or 4 where my bloating was the worst. And I also could not poop. Like I took the maximum number of stool softener they recommended. And I think even then, one day I was like on the toilet, I was like, I just want to poop, man. Life's a struggle when you can't poop. I also just could not exert myself too much over like the next 3 or 4 days. I feel like that was probably true for the first round as well, but more noticeable the second round because we went to IKEA, I think like day 2 or day 3, and I tried to pick something up and I was just like, oh, like I feel it in my ovaries, put that down. So just no heavy lifting. And yeah, I think my like body went back to normal probably like by day 5, though you're still like not supposed to do any strenuous exercise, I think for like 1 to 2 weeks after. I believe I did 2 just to be safe. I think that's everything. I'm trying to think if I forgot anything, but I hope you found this helpful or useful, or even if you didn't, that it was just like nice to hear a secondary perspective on the process. Good luck. Thank you for watching.